What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. My name is Jessica, your host of A Stronger You, where we talk about all things mindset and manifestation. Y'all, it is officially A Stronger You's 1 year anniversary. Oh my fucking God. So I want to start this episode by sharing more about me, introducing myself. I don't think I've ever fucking done that. I don't think I've ever sat down and done a full episode about that. And as you can tell, I am driving. I, for some reason, get some downloads / intuitive ideas to say certain things to you guys while I'm driving. So I'm just going with that. But before I get into talking about myself, I want to talk about where the podcast is going. So I have been reflecting on my podcast, my life, my business, how I want to show up in the world, how I want to serve and support. And I've always wanted to teach manifestation, okay? I've always wanted to specifically teach manifestation and mindset. And that's why I went and I got my master's in neurolinguistic programming, EFT tapping, time techniques, basically all of these certifications and these techniques, modalities that teach you about the subconscious mind and mindset manifestation. And so I don't know, actually no, I do know what it is. I have a few friends in this space and I have some girls that I see teaching manifestation and mindset. And to be honest, I've gotten inspired by I've gotten inspired by how these women are showing up. And when I know I'm attracted to something, I know it's because there's a version of me that has that is that, etc. And so I meditated on this. I, let it go to the universe and I just trusted. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let this shit flow how it flows. And something came to me where explain all the laws of the universe. Explain the spiritual laws of success. Explain all of this manifestation terminology, the big words, and break it the fuck down. And that's actually initially why I started my podcast. But I will say throughout the year since I've launched my podcast, yes, I'm obviously breaking down these big concepts, but I feel like it's been a little all over the place, as I've gonna say that again. Said that before, say it again. I feel like this year my podcast episodes were just a little all over the place. I was still trying to figure out my place in the podcasting space. I will say there's been times where I was like, you know what, let me hop on the trends and do a video about cortisol and how that relates to EFT tapping, and let me talk about lazy girl era and your all these things. And yes, it was true to me, and it is true to me. Everything I've spoken about is fucking true to me. But I will say, I did hop on some trends, and I don't like to trend hop. I don't like to fucking do it. And why did I do it? Because I knew that there was a need for that in the world. And so I'm like, okay, if this is a trending topic, let me talk about it so that more people can learn about it. So all that to say, I am being so fucking vulnerable with you guys and sharing that. And so I have decided to start a new series. Well, it's already basically started. I didn't call it a series, but now I'm calling it a series because fuck it. I'm like, do I take a month break? Do I start a new season? Do I call it a new season? How do I talk about this? Do I give it a new name? I'm like, you know what? I like this word, the new series. So this new series where I break down these topics in manifestation spirituality into tangible, applicable ways for you guys to apply it. That's been my number one thing on this podcast, because for me personally in life, I grew up with a learning disability. I grew up being told I had ADHD. I had auditory processing disorder, and I was in all this the smaller classes. I had an IEP. I was told I would never make it through college. I was told I was stupid. I was dumb. And it's funny because I wanted to fucking learn in high school, and the high school I went to, they didn't. We were in the smaller, slower classes. What did they do? They let us do whatever we wanted. It was absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, they did the best they could with what they had. Anyway, all of that to say, because it's always been hard for me to understand my teachers and literally just understand like big terminology in general, I feel like I have a big place in my heart to teach people how to understand like bigger terminologies, or just things that they've never heard of before. Because they could be, you could call them big, you could call them small, or at the end of the day, I feel like something that's like a big terminology is something that you've never heard of or learned before. And that doesn't make you dumb, that doesn't make you stupid. So all that to say, I say that word a lot, all that to say, I'm going to be breaking it down. And so I started the past few episodes, I started with explaining the laws of the universe in one full episode, very surface level. And then I talked about the laws of, the spiritual laws of success from the book by Deepak Chopra, which was the first book that I read on my spiritual journey. And the reason why I'm going that route, teaching you guys the laws of the universe, is because I wish I had this when I started my manifestation spirituality journey. I wish I had a podcast that broke it down in one space, because I didn't know where to find all of it. Like, it took me years to find all this like understanding and terminology, and like if you don't understand it, how the fuck are you going to apply it? You know? So I'm doing what I once needed, and I'm super excited to bring this to you guys, whether you are on your starting path of manifestation or you are a manifestation expert, but you are just freshening up on your skills, because babe, it's a journey, it's another language, you know. And alongside explaining all the laws, I also want to break down other things, like what the fuck does alignment mean? What does frequency mean? What does, what do your chakras mean? What does spirituality mean? Like, what does all of this shit really mean? So I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for consistently supporting me and showing up and allowing yourself to do the work and learn from others, because you are at the right place at the right time. But okay, now let's get into a little bit about who the fuck Jessica is. So I've noticed we've had a bunch of new faces here. So hi, if you're new, welcome. Let me give you a quick little reintroduction. And if you are an OG, hey, I love you so much. But anyway, my name is Jessica Talian. A lot of people think I'm Italian because of my last name, but I am actually not Italian. I am Armenian and I am Russian. So I started this podcast a year ago, guys, 1 year ago on October 20th. Holy shit. I've been uploading every week for 1 year straight on Mondays. If that's not dedication, I don't know what is. I am a master neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. And basically what that means is I know how to speak to your subconscious mind. And I've studied the subconscious mind for years at the master level. And alongside that, I am also an EFT practitioner. EFT is emotional freedom technique. That's where you see me tapping all over my face and my body. EFT is a powerful technique to not only regulate your nervous system, but unblock any limiting beliefs that are stopping you from getting to the next version of yourself on your journey. What else am I? There's so many more to me. I'm a 6-time credentialed coach. So alongside all those two that I shared, I'm a master time techniques practitioner, a master life and success coach, and a master clinical hypnotherapist. Yes. And hypnotherapy is actually extremely healing. It's not like the hypnotherapy that you see at the carnivals. It is completely different. It is used to reprogram your subconscious mind. So that's a little bit more about me. A couple more things that I want to share. I have actually been a personal trainer for over 10 years, which is insane. That was like, I first started getting in the coaching space as a personal trainer, and I noticed I was always coaching my clients through mindset. So I decided to study more into that actually for myself first, which is interesting. And that's how I love how it unfolded for me. And that's how I know I'm like really on my path and living out my purpose, is because I started this for myself, to heal myself and change my life. And I became a coach. So it's really awesome. Let's see, what else are some interesting facts about me? I used to be an all-star cheerleader. Okay, shout out to Extreme Stars in New York. They're not there anymore, but I was an extreme cheer all-star cheerleader, competed at world level, guys. I competed at world, and this was like way before All-Star was cool. It was way before that show came on Netflix. This was a long, long time ago. So yes, I could do a backflip, and yes, I can throw you up in the air and catch you, because I never gonna let you fall. I currently live in New Jersey / New York. I just moved back here. This is where I was born and raised. A Jersey girl, if you can't tell. And then I decided to leave Jersey in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, when it did not make any logical sense to do so. But my intuition was like, move to Miami. I'm like, oh, okay. It wasn't that simple. I'm just making it sound like it was that simple. It was actually like, that's the whole story. And if you guys want to hear about that, let me know. But I decided to move to Miami in 2020. I lived there for 3 years. That's when I had one of my like huge spiritual awakenings, and I got into like the spiritual world, personal development on a deep level. Went to my first retreat, changed my fucking life. That's why I love retreats, because retreats have been the most transformative for me in my life. And I am actually hosting a retreat next year. Hint, hint. We'll talk more about it when the details come. So yeah, here I am in Miami, Florida. Actually in 2020 was when I quit my 9-to-5 job, and I just went into full-time entrepreneurship. And I was working in the hospitals as an occupational therapist. So I literally had, a 7 to 3, if you will. But it sounds more on trend to say 9 to 5. So I quit my 9 to 5 with absolutely no plan, but besides to move to Miami and focus on personal training. So here I am in Miami doing personal training, loving it, but I still felt like there was something, missing. It didn't feel like my truest thing. And I dove in deep to the spiritual world, the community, learning about life and everything. And through healing myself and through learning more about myself, I've really discovered my purpose. And that's why I feel super called to support other people in, helping bring you through that. And everything I've learned is what I feel called to teach everyone. I've been placed on earth to be a teacher. I've known that since I've been a kid. I used to read books to my dolls sitting on the kitchen floor. I used to, if anyone remembers, not Scantron, overhead projectors. If anyone remembers the overhead projectors, when I was younger, I would ask my teacher for a blank page. And when I would come home from school, I would literally pretend to play teacher with my stuffed animals. I would pass out the papers. I would literally pretend like I had an overhead projector, and I would flip my hair over my shoulder to start writing on the overhead projector like my teachers. So that's how I know I was born to be a teacher. So then after Miami, I actually started working with this man who is a transformative teacher. He is pretty big in the space, and I actually manifested working with him. I manifested becoming his assistant. And so with that job, I moved to Austin, Texas. Sometimes I'll refer to it as a business opportunity, and was in Austin. When I moved to Austin, I got initiated big time. I got robbed. I got my car broken into, all of my designer bags stolen. And if you know anything about the law of rhythm, when there's a big down, there's a big upcoming. There's always, even the law of polarity, there's always opposites in this world. So anyway, all that to say, I got a crazy initiation to Austin, and I lived in Texas for about a year, and I left Texas and I moved back home to Jersey, which was definitely not an easy mentally, but once I made my decision, it was really easy. The reason why it wasn't easy, it was because I got it wasn't easy to leave Miami either, by the way. Let me get that straight. I was doing some really amazing things in Miami. I was living my best life. I worked with A-list celebrities. I had the best friends. I lived on an island. I manifested my apartment on the Venetian Island, if you know about Miami. I had the best life in Miami, and I will have a house there again in the future. It is my second home, basically. So my grandparents live in Florida, so it's basically like my second home now, but I will have my own in Florida very soon. And so, anywho, yes, it was hard to leave Miami. And when I left Austin, it was hard because I got a job opportunity with Nike. As I said before, I've been in the fitness industry for 10 plus years. I've been the head coach at Rumble Boxing. If you live in New York, you definitely know what Rumble Boxing is. It originated here, and now it's all over the world. And so, yeah, I got an opportunity with Nike, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, Nike's the top. And I was actually giving my power away to it because I was like, oh, I got to stay in Austin just for Nike. And when that was happening, I was experiencing so much anxiety, guys, like so much fucking anxiety, that I reached out for support from a friend, and she helped me realize that I did not want to stay in Austin anymore. My inner child missed my family so much, and I was so ready to come home. And I, like, thinking about living in Austin any longer, I thought I was literally, like, I felt like I was going to die. It was just like, it just wasn't it. And so I listened to my body. I unfortunately said no to Nike. And I moved back home to New Jersey. And, you know, like my parents are only getting older, and my dad's not the healthiest in the world. And like, I want to be able to spend more time with them. And I haven't been able to for 4 years. So yeah, I came back home, and I chose to come back home. And, you know, definitely felt so called to share my story. If anyone can relate to it, like if you ever feel called to move back somewhere, it does not mean you failed. It does not mean you're starting over. Like, you are choosing to do that. Like, I chose to move back home. I didn't have to. I could have moved back to Miami, but fuck, I miss my family, and there ain't nothing wrong with that, girl. There is nothing wrong with that. Your truth is your truth, and that's what you got to follow. So yeah, guys, that's a little bit about that. And I'm back here for the time being. We'll see we'll see where my next move is, because I can't sit still. I cannot sit still. And I really would love to ask you guys for a amazing, huge favor. If you are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Music, you can leave a rating and a review. And if you do, what that does is that literally helps the podcast get pushed out to more people. And in return, we're going to build a huge, amazing community. And in return, we're going to make the world a better place, because the more good that we spread into the world, the more that people are winning, the better of a world the place is going to be. And there is enough abundance in the world for all of us. There's enough money, happiness in the world for all of us. Like, it's literally our birthright to be happy and to be abundant. So if you could do that, I would appreciate it. I believe for Apple Music, you just scroll all the way to the bottom, hit the 5 stars, and then hit the word write a review. And for Spotify, there's actually at the top of the page, or more in the center of the page, there's 3 dots. You click it and you hit leave a rating. On Spotify, you just leave a rating. And if you're watching this or listening to this on YouTube, go ahead and comment, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. All of that is going to help us push this out. I have so many big goals for us this year, and I'm so stoked and excited. I love you guys so, so much. Get ready for this new season that we're in. I know I didn't take a break, but we are in this new season of bettering ourselves and glowing the fuck up in relationships and health and business and our career, in money, in everything, guys. Oh, I'm looking at 222 right now, and I see a G-Wagon. Yes. Okay, I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Go be amazing. Spread good vibes, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.